Hey everybody, Rich Stitzel here. Welcome to DrumMantra. Thank you for tuning in. Today we're going to take a look at a brand new lesson pack called Oceans. Oceans is a groove meditation, and if you're familiar with the DrumMantra material, you'll know that a groove meditation is usually kick and snare as an ostinato groove pattern, and sometimes the left foot is also included in that groove pattern ostinato, so it repeats over and over. And then the free limb, usually the ride cymbal, will go through a series of permutations that play within and through the structure of the ostinato happening with the other three limbs. Now sometimes the ostinato is changing between the left foot and the right hand while the kick and snare are staying solid. So different groove meditation series have different challenges and different goals. So this one, the ostinato pattern happens between the kick, the snare, the left foot. Now we're in 7/8 time, and I have not done anything in 7 yet, even though it's been requested a lot. Over the last 18 months or so, some of my students and some people just in social media have said, can you do an exercise series in 7, something that I can work on in 7? And I've been very hesitant to do that, mainly because I think that 4/4 and 3/4 have a lot to unpack on their own, and I really want everyone to understand what can be done in 4/4 with polymetric relationships, what can be done in 3/4 with polymetric relationships, what can be done in 5/4. When we get into 7, we start to become things get so large and complex, because in 7 quarter notes, every 7th, 16th note spans a long period of time, and it's kind of hard to hear the groove of that unless you're going at a fast tempo. And it's difficult to play at fast tempos unless you've really trained your muscles to do that. So I've avoided 7 for many reasons, but I went ahead and went with it because I was inspired many years ago, just as any drummer who was around when this album came out, Sting's 10 Summoner's Tales. Vinnie Colaiuta playing drums, and that album is masterful and iconic and changed a generation of drummers' approach to playing, and changed the concept of how we think about odd time signatures. So on 10 Summoner's Tales, and if you haven't heard this record, you need to go hear it, because Vinnie is playing. A lot of the tunes on the record are odd times, but the way Vinnie is playing them, his ride cymbal pattern a lot of times is going over the bar line. So you're hearing the groove happen in 7, say, and the ride cymbal, because it's playing quarter notes, it's on the downbeats for one measure, and then it's on the upbeats for one measure, but it's consistent. And something about that, with how the pattern goes, and of course how Sting writes and how everyone in the band plays, it's just, you don't even really know that it's in an odd time signature. It just feels so good. So I became fascinated with that idea of over the bar line playing with odd time signatures. And maybe, I don't know, 6 months or so ago, I wrote a series of exercises, because when I do a clinic, I want to present something new in my clinic. So I wrote this lesson pack called Oceans, which we're going to really unpack today. But I wrote this pack and wanted to present the concept of odd time playing, ostinato groove, with some over the bar line ride cymbal patterns. I wasn't quite ready to perform it by the time of the clinic, but I did get through maybe the first 6 of the 12 exercises. So that was pretty good. I was pretty proud of myself, because this is not an easy exercise. I would definitely consider this an advanced coordination exercise. Okay, so let's unpack Oceans. There are 12 exercises in this lesson series. Each exercise is 6 measures long. So every single exercise is 6 measures of 7/8 time. The reason that we have 6 measure phrases, I'll tell you in a minute, but it needs to be a 6 measure long phrase to do what we are ultimately trying to do with this thing. Okay, so the groove, the very first groove we're going to do is just the kick and snare. We're just going to get the kick and snare happening. It's a 16th note oriented ostinato. Boom, boom, cap, 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 boom, boom, cap. That's the groove. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. and that's how I count 7. 3 and 1, 2, 3 and 1. So let's play that 6 measure long phrase 4 times in a row. Here we go. Okay, now that you have the groove happening, we're going to take a look at why we have to have a 6 measure long phrase. The culprit, the left foot, the hi-hat foot. So the left foot is playing dotted eighth notes, which is a grouping of 3 16th notes. When we have a grouping of 3 16th notes that's going over and over and over in a cycle, you have to play 3 measures of whatever it is you're doing for that to come right back and land on 1, land on the downbeat. Okay, so a 3 measure phrase of 7/8 is kind of short. There's not a lot happening, and it kind of ends before you really get into it. So I made it a 6 measure long phrase just to give us some musicality and give us a sense of playing some music. So what we're going to look at now is the relationship of the left foot to the backbeat. The backbeat in 7/8, cat, 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 cat. Cat, 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 cat. So there was 3 measures of 7. So we're just going to isolate the left foot and the left hand. Hi-hat, snare drum. This is a little tricky. Here we go. Okay, now let's see what it feels like to combine the left foot and the right foot. So we're having the dotted eighth note happening in the left foot, and then the right foot pattern, boom, 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 boom. They kind of swirl in and out of each other. It takes 3 measures for it to resolve. The pattern is 6 measures long. It's 3 measures and then 3 measures repeated. And we're going to repeat that whole 6 measure phrase 4 times, just the feet. Here we go. Okay, great. Let's put all three of those things together now. This is the foundation of what Oceans is built on. So we need to be able to play this 3-limb ostinato very comfortably. So bass drum, snare drum, hi-hat. It's a 3-measure long phrase. Boom, boom, cat, boom, boom, cat, boom, boom, cat, boom, cat, boom, boom, cat, boom, cat, boom, boom, cat, boom, cat, boom. That's 3 measures of it. 6 measures long. Okay, so let's take a look at this. Work hard on this. It's really worth getting this part down. It's not easy, but it's gonna feel so good. Once your body can do these things, it just makes you more relaxed and more centered. And it's not like you're gonna be playing these crazy fancy things on all of your gigs, but your body is gonna feel more solid and more focused because your body can do that kind of stuff. You don't necessarily have to do it on your gig. Your groove is going to feel deeper when you're just playing a simple pocket. When your body actually can do more, that's how you get your groove to feel deeper. Okay, so let's take a look at this 3-limb groove ostinato that is the foundation of the Oceans series. Here we go. Okay, now that you have the ostinato happening between the 3 limbs, which I hope you do, because now it's time for the fun stuff, but until we have that really solid, this is going to be a nightmare for you. Once you have it, we're going to go into 16th notes on the ride cymbal. So now we're just going to create that 16th note grid, da 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 da, and everything falls on that grid. Boom, boom, bop, boom, boom, bop, boom, boom, bop, boom, boom, bop, boom. Everything falls on it. Everything's going to happen. It's a little fast, so your arms maybe going to get tired, or the consistency is going to be a little whatever. But just this is the tempo that I want it to be at. So this is the tempo that I've decided feels the best. So try to get on that tempo. It's the 6 measure long phrase. We're going to do 4 repetitions of the 6 measure long phrase. Here we go. Okay, next up, we're going to break up that ride cymbal pattern a little bit, and this is what's going to cause that first really cool Vinny kind of vibe. We're going to play 1 and a 2 and a da da da, an 8th note and 2 16th notes. Because this is in a duple grouping, bam ba da bam ba da bam ba da. Every other measure is going to be backwards, so it's going to be 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. So one measure will be ba ba da ba ba da. The next measure will be da 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 da. Just by virtue of the time signature changing, the hand is always going ding digga ding digga ding digga ding digga ding digga ding. That never changes. The time signature is what makes the the sense of this turning backwards and forwards, but this is consistent. Okay, here we go. Okay, great. That actually might have been easier than you thought, because the 8th note to 16th note ostinato is a very common ride pattern. Ding, dig-a, ding, dig-a, ding, and swing, ding, dag-a, ding, dag-a, ding. So that your hand might be used to playing that, which might have made this whole groove happen a little easier for you than you originally might have thought. Okay, now we're going to go into exercise 3, which is 8th notes on the ride cymbal. Straight 8th notes. We're in 7/8 time. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1. So we're just doing that. The groove's happening. Everything falls pretty simply. And we're doing this 6 measure long phrase 4 times. Let's give it a try. Okay, cool. We're going to up it a little bit, and we're going to double the hi-hat with the ride cymbal. So now the ride cymbal is also playing dotted 8th notes. Hi-hat and ride are playing dotted 8th notes. When you have something that's really being reinforced on 2 different sound sources, it really tends to carry your mind into thinking that that might have something to do with the main pulse. So it might feel like you're in some kind of strange, well, it would actually be 21, like a 12/8 kind of thing, where you're going da do da do da do da, because those 2 things are really defining every 3/16 notes. Da do da do da do da, and it could make the groove either feel like it's very foreign and it's hard to tell where anything is. So experiment with how you're hearing it. You may hear it in a triplet kind of 3-note kind of feel, or you may hear it in 7 and hear that dotted note just kind of winding its way through the measure. But the goal is to be able to hear it both ways. I'm still working on that myself. I mean, some of these concepts take a lot of time to understand, and just being able to play it physically, that's just the first step. The next step is being able to hear it from different perspectives and understand it from different perspectives. And that's a long journey, but the first step, I think, is the physical part of it. So let's go into playing dotted 8th notes on the ride cymbal. Here we go. Okay, cool. Let's go back to one of those Vinny kind of things. We're going to now play quarter notes on the ride cymbal. So the first measure is downbeats, and then all of a sudden it's going to feel like we're playing upbeats because quarter notes just never stop happening. The groove's in 7, so we're going to feel like it flips. But there's more space now, which is going to give you a little more challenge because you have more opportunities to do something different with your right hand. Keep that quarter note happening the whole time. Let's give it a try. Here we go. Okay, now we're going to jump into some crazy polymetric territory here. We're going to make the ride cymbal, we're going to put more space between the ride cymbal, and the next obvious choice is adding a 16th note to that quarter note into a 5-note grouping. So now we're going to play every 5th 16th note on the ride cymbal. So now we're having a relationship of 5 to 3 to 7 going. 3, 5, and 7. Common subdivision of 16th note, which means this is a polymetric relationship. 3 to 5 to 7 polymetric relationship. When everything has the same subdivision, it's polymetric, okay? It's a lot cleaner. Polyrhythms with 3, 5, and 7 would be a mess. It would sound very jumbled and chaotic. But when everything has the same subdivision, now we're just hearing cycles that take longer and shorter to resolve, okay? So polymetric, 3, 5, and 7. Now this is a 6-measure long phrase. 5 doesn't fall into 6. So what's going to happen is at the beginning of each 6-measure long phrase, we're just going to start that grouping of 5 again, okay? So we're kind of cheating a little bit because we're playing the 5-note grouping, and we don't quite keep that cycle happening because to do that, it would be 7 times 3 times 5. 35 times 3 would be 90, would be 105 measures. It would take 105 beats for that to resolve. That's a lot. So we're going to just start the 5-note grouping over every time we get back to the beginning of the 6-measure long phrase. Okay? Here we go. Okay, cool. If you have any of my books, you know that I use the terms cell and skeleton. So what we just did was we played the 5-note cell. Every 5th, 16th note is happening, and that's what we're playing. That's called a 5-note cell, C-E-L-L. Now we're going to play the 5-note skeleton. The 5-note skeleton groups odd things into 2s and 3s. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, duck it, duck it, duck it, duck it, duck. That's the 5 skeleton. That's the 5-note skeleton. You could also go da 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 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. But in this instance, we're going to play 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, duck it, duck it, duck it, duck it. So still 5s, still 7s, still 3s. We're going to start that 7 pattern over at the beginning of each 6-measure long phrase. 4 repetitions of the whole thing. Here we go. Okay, that's some serious over the bar line playing. 3 different groupings happening at once. That's a large and challenging polymetric relationship. And I wish you the best on that, because that stuff is not easy. I'm still working on it. I feel like I'm just scratching the surface. I think I was able to perform it fairly well in this video, and I'm going to keep on working on it until it's just rock solid and very comfortable, because it just has such a great effect on how I feel when I'm playing pocket. One, bop, boom, bop, boom, bop. My body just understands more about movement, and simple things just sound so much better. Remember that. If you work on something complex and you find yourself saying, what am I ever going to do this for? I'm never going to play this on a gig. Exactly. You shouldn't play it on a gig unless you're in a band that plays that kind of music. But if you're just playing a gig, a pop gig, you're going to play the gig the way that you're supposed to play it. It's just going to feel deeper, and it's going to feel so much better the more your body understands what to do. Okay, I drive this home all the time with my students, and I just want you to really understand that these exercises are designed for your mind and your body to get focused and become in control. Not so you can play some crazy, fancy lick. You can if you want, but you don't. That's not the purpose of this. The purpose is develop muscle memory, develop focus, develop rhythmic awareness. Okay, so what we're going to do for these final 5 exercises is we're going to stay in 7 in our right hand. So it's just going to be different patterns that happen in 7/8. The very first one is just every 7 16th notes. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E. 1 2 3 4 5 7. 1 2 3 4 5 7. Bam. Okay? 6 measure long phrase, 4 repetitions of the whole thing. Here we go. Okay, great. So we just played the cell of 7. 1 2 3 4 5 7. 1 2 3 4 5 7. 1 2 3 4 5. Now we're going to play the skeleton of 7. 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 duck it 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 duck it. Still in 7, but we're now dividing it into that skeleton, the bones of the structure. Okay, here we go. Okay, for this next one, I created a little round ostinato that has a little bit of a dotted implication to it. 1 E and a 2 E, and 1 E and a 2 E and E and 1 E and a 2 E and. And the way that swirls around with the left foot is very interesting because they start to dance. It's a pretty cool exercise. It's a challenging one. Have fun with it. Here we go. Okay, the next one, we're just going to do a permutation of that. We're going to move it over a little bit. We're going to play downbeat, 2E and a 3E and a 4E, 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E, 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E, 1. Dun 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 It kind of has like a little bit of a Bayonne songo kind of vibe to it. But we're in 7. Okay, here we go. Okay, this final one is downbeat, E and of 2, and beat 4. Now remember, when we're in 7, 4 doesn't have an 8th note on it. We've taken the 8th note off of that. That's how we make 7. 4 and would give us 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and is a measure of 4/4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 is a measure of 7/8. So 1 E of 2 and beat 4. 2 4 1 2 It's a very weird kind of stretched out almost shuffle. Bop 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 bop. But we're in 7. It's very strange. Here we go. Okay, there it is. That's the Oceans lesson pack. Every exercise has 4 repetitions of each thing, and then the full performance is playing each exercise right into the next. 12 of them in a row. 6 measures, 6 measures, 6 measures, 6 measures. So the lesson pack on DrumMantra.com has an audio file for every single exercise on its own and a performance exercise. So when you can do these things, you can use that audio, play along, film yourself. You can post these, and you'll have an actual performance of yourself playing 4 times through each of these lesson parts. And then hopefully some of my people will be able to get through the entire series in this month. I'm hoping. They have 1 month to get through this lesson pack. Good luck. Thanks for watching. Take care.